Hello, welcome back to The Great Circle, an upcoming animal survival experience set in a giant African caldera. I'm TJ, developer and creator for the game, and I'm bringing you another live development stream. This one's a little special. It is, I guess, World Snake Day. So we're going to be doing a little bit of snake-themed things. I originally wanted to show the progress that I made with making some smarter carnivores, but we'll save that for another time. We got a lot of new things coming up here, so thanks so much for joining me. If you are joining me live, you feel free to ask questions about the game and development as we go. If you missed the stream, you can ask questions in the comments, and I'll get back to those as soon as I can. In case you don't know, you can follow The Great Circle anywhere you have social media. We are YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to play test builds of the game, join our Discord, which is linked below, or you can join the Discord link from our website, thegreatcircle.weebly.com. Also today, I want to let you guys know that we've had a Patreon page set up for quite a while now, but I haven't really set it up really. It's just kind of a bunch of placeholder info, but I'm getting more into it because it seems that folks are starting to take notice. We did get a new Patreon, so I'm now going to start putting content on our Patreon for Patreon members of The Great Circle. Let me direct your attention to The Great Circle's Patreon page. Patreon.com/The Great Circle will get you there, or follow the link in the description of this video. It's kind of far, it's a little bit far down. You can see that my mind has not been on fundraising like it should have been for a long time, but here we are. For those of you who would like to support the development of the Great Circle financially, which it is greatly appreciated because this is definitely not a free endeavor. Somebody's got to pay for all this stuff. Here's where you can do it. I've got basically just two tiers set up. There's a $3 tier and a $5 tier. That's all. I don't want to start creating tiers with just nothing to offer for them. So basically there won't be more tiers until there's more content and stuff to offer. So what I'm going to be offering on The Great Circle's Patreon is faster updates for the game. So as you know, I'm basically constantly working on this game. Like if I'm not streaming, I'm working on a game off stream, basically. It's almost like a full-time job. But I don't always make the changes public. So if you do become a Patreon, what I'll do, I believe, is basically start putting out like here's where the game is right now at the end of the day of editing and doing all my stuff. So any of the new AI updates and content that I add to the game, you'll get it basically as it comes. And then folks in the public who are not Patreons would get it later on once it's more polished or whatever. So that's what I have for now, but there's a lot of room to grow as I'm finding out with Patreon as a platform. I've never really used it before. But I mean, it has like merchandise things that you can do. It lets you do special live streams. So maybe I'll have a live stream where it's like, you know, Patreons only. You could do giveaways, sweepstakes. You could do a lot of different things. So, you know, and maybe some of you guys will have versions of the game that has more animals. We'll see. I don't know. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I'm making it up as I go. So, you know, strap yourselves in for the ride. And thank you for supporting The Great Circle. Let's go ahead and get started. I don't want to jibber jabber too much. And how's it going, Majid? Welcome to the stream. And welcome anyone else who joins. Let's get to work. So, what we're doing today, in honor of National or World Snake Day, I guess we're going to add a couple snakes. I've been talking about this snake for a while, and it's been a little bit of a surprise. I've been busy. So I have animals that are in the queue to be added. Like I've already either done work myself or acquired some animals somehow or whatever, but it takes time to, you know, adapt them to and put them into a game. A lot of times it's the case that even if you were to like buy an asset like already put together or whatever. You can't just put it in a game engine and expect it to work. You really have to configure it. You've got to basically unbreak it. It's made by a different person under different circumstances, sometimes under a different version of the engine. There are a lot of complications. So unfortunately, no plug and play scenarios available. But today we've got an animal. We're going to go ahead and go through the normal process that I go through for adding animals that I've done. So a little bit of work on this one should be basically the same as what I did with puff adder and mangrove snake. We're going to be adding the black mamba and green mamba. So we're getting 2 snakes today. I thought 1, but you know, snake day, so you know, we'll do 2. Anyways. How's it going, Survival Studios? What's happening? Welcome to the stream. Minji says, why am I so obsessed with kudu? I don't know, but I like kudu too, and I can't wait to get it. You guys know I love antelope. You guys know that. Alright, so I wanted to put on the Smithsonian thing real quick because they're doing a video today. Oh, there it is. Yeah, celebrating World Snake Day with the Smithsonian channel. I figured we'd put this on as like theme or whatever, but you know, I don't know if I should do this, but maybe it'll be all right. I'll give you something to look at while I'm getting the materials ready for the new snake. First, let me do a blend space. I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but we'll see.
Not too big. It would be hard, even for a rock python, to swallow a cow. But here's something just right. This rabbit has come to dine on some tasty cabbages. Unfortunately for the rabbit, the cabbages are perfect cover for squeeze.
Oh, hang on 1 second, I'll be right back. Let me turn this other computer thing off.
The rabbit's acute hearing is legendary, but it seems oblivious to the approach of this stealth hunter. It takes a lot of energy to digest a whole rabbit. She'll be very sluggish for a few days. Time for a siesta. The mole snake isn't venomous, but it's a powerful constrictor and can inflict painful bite wounds that can be fatal if they become infected.
Okay, I'm back.
Grit's learned a lot, but this is his ultimate test. The snake targets the head, the badger's weak spot.
I can't wait to do the honey badger too. I am so a fan of that animal.
Run off to find easier prey. This is a honey badger. Nothing scares him. He keeps on coming. snake tries to run. But once the honey badger has locked onto its target, it doesn't back down.
Oh, my snakes are missing. Hang on. There we go. Alright, I found him. False alarm. Okay, let's see.
Once the badger...
First thing I'm going to do is a blend space. Let's see.
It's game over.
Sometimes you feel bad for snakes. Why? They don't feel bad. They just live their snake lives. I mean, honey badger can't run away because this massive steel balls are dragging it down. Basically, they have the testosterone of a much bigger animal. I'm gonna do black mamba first.
Any number of potential prey could venture past. Velvet isn't picky. She'll eat anything from rodents, birds, to small antelope.
Now those will be interesting animals too. Mongooses, because they are the natural enemy of many snakes. Question, TJ, do you think a lion could kill a honey badger? Absolutely, of course. They can and they do. They're often more trouble than they're worth. I think lions find that, you know, I mean, they're just tough to deal with. They fight until they're literally dead. If they're not dead, they're fighting. Most of the time, I don't think lions want to go through trouble. Most lions, I think, realize honey badgers are not gonna be easy prey.
A slight miscalculation makes no difference. Once she's set her sights on a target, there's no chance for escape. Her strike isn't the fastest in the snake world, but at over 20 feet per second, it does the job. The shock of the attack stuns the bird, while the complex venom cocktail rapidly floods its body. As she waits for her prey to die, Velvet adjusts her fangs. They can really get in the way sometimes. Within 10 minutes, it's all over, and lunch is ready. Eating is a specialized process. Velvet unhinges her jaw to allow her to open her mouth wide enough. Using rows of teeth to latch on, she drags her prey to a safe place where she can eat in peace.
Baby mambas are notoriously nervous and highly aggressive.
Okay, so I forgot to mention. So in 30 minutes, the update will be complete for patch 2 of update 1.6. Update 1.6 being the general version that the public has access to. Patch 2 is going to be the very first Patreon only update. So the new stuff that I added was I fixed the growth. So now when you hit adult, you don't die. There is a dev cheat in that I'm pretty sure if anyone's really looking for it, they can find it. But you know, I'll fix that later if you happen to find out what it is. The leopard now has a 25% chance of being black. So now I don't have the... Oh, it looks like the stream's slowing down. Hang on.
For now.
Okay, so the leopard, now I don't have two separate clickable list items for regular leopard and then black leopard. Now you just pick leopard, and the game will give you a 25% chance of getting the black leopard skin mutation. And that's how it's going to be for the foreseeable future. basically it's just like it's just something you can't really control, and it's a part of the animal experience that they can't control what you know abnormalities or mutations or defects they may be born with. So, and that may be a thing in the future as well, like being born with certain defects or abnormalities or, birthmarks. I intend to make this game as unpredictable as possible, but as realistic as we can allow in a video game. So, we do have that for the leopard, and also I added dynamic backgrounds to like the loading screen and stuff. So, not a whole lot. There was a lot more that I wanted to put in that, but I just wanted to get that out fast because, well, now we're doing the Patreon thing. So, but some upcoming features that I'm in the process of finishing are carnivores are going to be attracted to carcasses. So, if you choose to play a carnivore in the future, it's not going to be as simple as you simply find a carcass, because some folks figured out that the vultures fly around the carcasses. Other animals are going to be able to smell that carcass, and they will go to it and claim it. That code has been tested. It's working. I'm just in the process of making sure every animal has it, and every animal kind of respects the hierarchy. So it's like lions chase everything away, but they may fight hyenas if there are enough hyenas. Smaller animals will chase smaller animals away, but the bigger animals don't really run from anything. So I have that to finish, but it's coming really, really soon. Actually, I could probably demonstrate that in this stream. Birds will create warning sounds if they spot predators, like crouching towards anything, like a herd. So basically, birds will have the ability to spook herds. Playable mangrove snake is coming. It's not playable yet. You'll see it in the list, but you can't select it. Alligator snapping turtle, gonna be playable. African wildcat, coming. It's gonna be playable. Scorpions are gonna get updated with venom. Komodo dragons are gonna be updated with venom. Puff adder and mangrove snake, obviously updated with venom. Once I'm done with the black mamba and green mamba, updated with venom. Animals will respond to bird warning calls. That's the spook factor I mentioned. Also, there's going to be a condition for if you get into a fight or if something is coming at you, we're going to experiment with playing some combat music. So I'm going to have this combat music kind of creep in, and then, as you're fighting, it'll be, the most dramatic part of the music or the loudest part, and then once the fight ends, it'll like fade out, and then you'll be back into just the regular environmental sounds and whatever other music's playing. But we're gonna have some combat music.
Under their leafy canopy, they may
Enable sleep. Oh yeah, sleep's gonna be turned on. So the requirement for sleep is gonna be the balance to having the ability to regenerate stam, right? So somebody asked a question a while back about, let me pause this so that I'm not competing with the thing. Someone asked a question a while back about what do you do with players who just want to repeatedly just kill everything because they feel like it will mess with the immersion or it won't make the game fun? Like in multiplayer mode, what if some people just want to grief other players and do that over and over and over again? So as I explained then and as I'm explaining now, well, first of all, we're primarily focused on the single player experience right now, but when that comes about, players won't actually be able to spam attempt hunts or spam attempt fighting, because that will drain stamina, and you can only regenerate stamina for as much as your sleep bar allows. So in other words, every time you regenerate stamina, that sleep bar goes down, and so you basically have to be more strategic with your energy, because that sleep bar is basically your energy for the day. And if you use it all on a hunt or two or a fight, then you have to wait a while before it can regenerate and therefore allow you to regenerate stam. So that's how it's going to be, very much like in the wild, how, like, for example, cheetahs, high energy, really fast, sprinting, attacking type animals, can't do that all day. They basically pick their moments. They've only got like enough energy a lot of times to attempt one or two hunts every so often, but they got to save that energy, or else they're not going to have the energy to attempt a hunt when the conditions favor them, or if they get into a fight, they won't have the energy to defend themselves. So players will basically have that same consideration, thereby making the game a bit more of a challenge and I believe more realistic in that aspect. To finish up the upcoming features, a fix for the music not playing in the very beginning. I think it was supposed to be that the music starts at the very, very beginning when you start the game, but there's like time in between when the tracks play, and it's like a random amount of time. So I'm going to put that back in because right now nothing's playing, and that shouldn't be the case. Fix the eating prompt. So for some weird reason, I keep having this problem with the eating prompt. I fix it, it comes back. I fix it, it comes back. Well, I believe I'm going to fix it permanently this time. So I believe that will also be a part of patch 3. Animal senses increases sometimes. So you're not going to be able to predict, and this is one of the things that I want to do with this game, is try to make it as unpredictable as possible, within reason, right? You're not going to be able to always predict how far away an animal can sense you, see you, smell you, things like that. Like, you're not going to be like, well, elephants can see this far, or their range is about this far, because I'm going to make that dynamic. Some elephants will be able to see far. Some animals will be able to smell you from farther away. It's going to be really hard to know exactly what to do, except to use all the best practices in your hunt to try to be successful, but you will not be able to predict that, oh, just because I'm in the grass at this far away, I'm definitely going to win or I'm definitely going to succeed because it's a game and I can predict how it's going to work. No, you won't. It's not going to work like that. I will make sure of it. And it's going to be more fun because of it. It's going to be more of a challenge. You know, games get boring when they get predictable. So I'm going to give you guys something to think about. Yeah, and I think that's it. Other than venom, bleed, and burn damage will be enabled. And the blood effects are really, really close to coming. And animals will now begin to look at other animals that are next to them, because right now it's kind of like they're just looking forward and looking around a little bit. But they will look at you if you approach. And that will be an indicator that they're assessing you or judging whether or not they want to attack you. But they will be aware of you. And it's going to be, they're already aware of players, but it's going to be more apparent when they start looking at you. It'll feel like just in the wild when deer are like staring at you from 20 feet away or whatever. Well, 200 feet away or whatever. Yeah. And, oh, last thing. Weather exposure is coming. So another thing to worry about is being out in a storm. For example, getting your animal too cold during a rainstorm or a snowstorm, and just being exposed to weather. Weather effects will affect your animal soon. I just can't say exactly how, but it's going to be adverse. And what you're going to have to do is try to seek shelter. And I already tested and found to be working that, for example, if I make it so that the player loses certain health by being exposed to weather, they can get in a bush and get some shelter. So there are shelters that you can get, and it works. So coming soon, I'll let you know which features are active at the time when I release the update. So as soon as, for example, patch 2 is done uploading, I will either make a separate video going over the active features and just showing it off a little bit and just have that be like a 3-minute, 5-minute video, or maybe I'll do it in this and clip it out or whatever. We'll see. All right, back to questions. Oh, a lot of questions came in. Let me see here. Oh, wait. These aren't all questions. Cool. All right. Technically, only 11 elaborates are black. Yes, Survival Studios, but I'm making a video game, so this is going to serve my purposes first. We're going to start off with what works for the game and then kind of reel it into more closer to reality. Because right now it's all about testing and seeing if what we're doing is working. True, melanistic. Survival Studios, can you show some of the new animals? I could show you 4 today. Hey guys, and TJ. Hey, what's up, Tops? By the way, congrats TJ on hitting 300 up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can you imagine 300 Patreons? That's gonna be fun. Okay. All right, let's get back to work here. So the first animal I'm gonna show you is going to be the black mamba. So give me a second. Boom. All right. I'm gonna zoom in. Here's our black mamba. Not too bad, right? It's going to be implementing some of the same systems as the puff adder and mangrove snake, but for now, the thing that's going to set the black mamba apart is its land speed. It's going to be the fastest, well, it is the fastest snake in the world, but it's going to be really, really fast. So let's go ahead, and I'm setting up some animations here. The next thing I'll show you is the green mamba, and the other two animals I'll show you a little bit later in the stream. So give me 1 second, let me just select which crawl goes where.
Take a gap and bite you. So now, how many times you do this? You can so easily slip. There's not one of those drops. Watch those two top things don't slide. Okay, I've got it.
Yeah, snakes will be able to climb trees. They can't yet, but they will be able to, and that's going to be one of the more ideal places for snakes, actually. Except for the fact that leopards will be able to use them too.
It's game over for a life in leafy suburbia. Imagine the scene.
Okay, hang on. I have to use my other one as a template. Hold on.
In South Africa. It's 10 o'clock in the morning when you see the snake. A dead black mamba lying in the road. Your 9-year-old son is eager to see a mamba up close. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and he's fascinated by snakes.
Okay, I think
It's
that's...
clearly dead, and it should be safe to handle. But then, as he opens its famous black mouth...
There we go. Okay. The animations are going to be fairly simple for black mamba and fairly similar to the mangrove snake, at least in the beginning. Later on, I'm going to have to adapt these to work a lot better with the speed, but for now, this is going to look very familiar.
You have 20 minutes to get him the antivenom before his organs start to shut down. Paramedics are en route, armed with the life-saving antivenom, but they're 10 miles away. 6 minutes after the bite, his whole body is tingling. It feels like millions of insects crawling under his skin. Into the bite. He's drowsy and he can't keep his eyelids open.
A question, are black mambas faster than humans? I think so. I'm not totally sure. Actually, I would say no. I'm thinking about Usain Bolt, and I'm like, a black mamba faster than him? Heck no, dude. But I don't know for sure.
His heart's racing to keep up.
But I know who does know. Hey Google, are black mambas faster than humans?
On the website emborapets.com, they say, the fastest snake happens to be the black mamba. The black mamba can travel up to 12 miles per hour in short bursts, which is faster than humans. Not only is this snake speedy, but it is usually regarded as one of the deadliest snakes out there.
Well, it says faster than humans, but I'm pretty sure Usain Bolt runs at like 20 something miles per hour. Hey Google, how fast is the fastest human in the world?
On the website Britannica.com, they say, in 2009 Jamaican sprinter Usain Bolt set the world record in the 100-meter sprint in 9.58 seconds. Do you want a little more context?
No. Okay, well that doesn't tell me the miles per hour, but it says that faster than humans, so I would take it to mean probably faster than most humans. I have a hard time believing that's faster than Usain Bolt. If Usain Bolt is sprinting, I could be wrong, but I could have sworn his miles per hour was somewhere in the 20s. But that's not how fast most people run. Hell no, that's not even close. Question: will lions climb trees? Yes, but I think to a more limited extent. Like for example, I think that like this is just an example because I really haven't messed much with the tree climbing stuff yet. But my idea would be like leopards can climb up the base of the tree and go to branches and rest and sleep in trees. Lions with a lesser ability to climb, if we continue down this direction, because I start researching the science more when I actually start working on the mechanics. I may find that I'll do it differently, but to my understanding, lions can't climb as well as leopards. They just don't do it as often. They're not as graceful at it. So I would give the lion's ability to climb up the base of the tree slower, maybe reach a lower branch, but not sleep in a tree, not drag prey up a tree, not be able to make a tree its home and stuff, but it's just like limited climbing. Whereas the leopard will have full control, full rights, abilities in the tree. Go to sleep up there, drag prey up there, do whatever it wants in the tree. Will you be able to drag corpse on top of tree? Yes, as leopard. And I'm not sure about other animals yet, but my guess would be certain monkeys, it would make sense for them to be able to carry fruit or whatever, certain things up in trees. And obviously, like birds can bring branches and stuff to trees, and imagine being outrun by something that doesn't even have limbs. When you see that thing move, it starts to become real. I think Usain Bolt is faster. I think what that information means is like faster than most humans who try to sprint or whatever, because they can probably keep it up for longer. Okay, I went with 1.5 as an increase. Okay.
Of rattlers reaching monstrous proportions here, and he's eager to see some of these phantoms in the flesh. A snake expert in town is news that gets around fast.
Hello, this is Jules. Yes. Yes. Wow. I'll be right there. Yeah, thanks. Bye. The boy saw a large snake go under the pulpit. And that was the end of the service.
The small chapel in Terlingua has an unwanted visitor.
Oh, I forgot to do the summary. Hang on.
A collection of offerings under the altar is the perfect place for an irreverent rattler.
Oh. See his tail. Where's his head? I can just see the tail doing this. He's a very small tail. That is not a very good sign. Stop. Oh, there you are. Look at that. You can just see that little rattle. He's got one, he's got two sheds on there. That's the only reason it's making a noise. That's the two dry bits of skin just flicking together. Easy, baby. There we go. Look at that. That is a western diamondback rattlesnake, probably a few months old. I'll put you in the jar, buddy. That's it. What are you doing in church?
It's hardly the monster Jules had heard rumor of.
My dude, you can't wait to start saving animals as human.
Look at that. Stop being so mad. One thing about babies, they are probably more dangerous than anything else for three reasons. One is they're small and everything's trying to eat them. So they defend themselves with as much aggression as they can come up with. Two, they're very camouflage. You don't see them. They can hide under a jar or under a piece of rock just like that. And when you're digging around the garden...
Yes, actually.
The other thing is...
The sidewinder rattlesnake.
Tiny rattles, or no rattles at all when they're first born.
And I believe a diamondback rattlesnake too.
As the summer draws to a close, the creatures of the Western Ghats seek out shelter to prepare for the rainy months ahead. A rat snake heads deep into the forest.
I want like non-venomous snakes too. Like I want the African rock python, like constrictors like that.
It's been more than a month.
But the challenge with that is getting the constricting killing method to work in game. I have an idea, but it's gonna be a while before I can test it. Like that right there.
Take their deadly hold,
That's what I want to do.
shooting a dose
I want to have them bite something and then like wrap it up real fast. It'll be kind of similar to like the idea like that Crocs can grab something and like it'll be like a battle of stamina or attributes. It'll be similar to that, to where the snake can grab something and coil up on it real quick, and it'll be like a battle of stamina. If you don't have enough stamina, it's gonna wear you down eventually and suffocate you.
It's all
And it's gonna be so cool to see like the oxygen bar is what's gonna go down when the snake starts to constrict you.
through the bush known as game trails. For creatures like tiny rodents to the world's largest land mammals, these trails
Give me a second, let me check and see if the upload is done.
often lead to water holes or good feeding grounds. And it's along paths like these that puff adders will position themselves to wait for prey. But when unsuspecting victims wait,
Yep, it's done.
tread too close for comfort, a little 13-pounder puff adder can defend itself in a mighty way. It doesn't seem possible that a
All
bite
right,
from a
so
tiny
the
snake could pierce the skin of a rhino.
latest build is going into the Patreon folder.
But here's evidence to the contrary.
In the public folder, we still have the
Severe necrosis.
build 1.5 and 1.6
Her entire
patch 1 plus.
rotted off.
But the newest one is going to be in the Patreon folder. For anyone who wants to sign up on Patreon, that one, remember, has the fixed growth. It has the dynamic backgrounds.
Ensuring a slow and painful
Actually, I will show you in a second what it has. That'd be much better.
It's an extreme example.
So
of
this
what
will just be like an incentive for those of you who want to help with funding the development with Patreon. That'd be good content. Let me finish these blend spaces, then I'll go into that. 60 crawl 1.5.
At Forest School, the scene is all set for Muliono's snake awareness lesson. The call has gone out for milk time, and the babysitters move into position. With 160 snake species in Borneo, this lesson is critical in teaching the students that snakes are to be feared. Everything is ready. But no one's taking the bait.
Okay, that crawl's still too slow. We're gonna speed it up.
So the babysitters help the lesson along. They give it their all to reinforce the fear factor. Everyone remembers their training.
Question: snakes are gonna have a lot of wars with crocs in the water. Oh, you're just saying that.
But this time the
Probably not. Crocs probably win that. Snakes are gonna have like a specialized sort of gameplay. It's kind of be the thing I'm really excited about with the Great Circle is just the different types of gameplay that'll be available depending on the animal you pick. Like, it's a very particular type of player that will want to play giraffe versus rhino. And there are particular types who want to play elephant. But it's a very especially particular type who would want to play snapping turtle, right? Just a different mode of gameplay. You move, you travel slower, right? Or if you play tortoise, like it's like you're never really gonna have to fight anything. You just go in your shell if something tries to attack you, and you're mostly gonna be safe, unless if you're being hunted by a croc, they can break shells. But there's that. There's snake gameplay. There's bird gameplay. There's like a different type of gameplay for almost every type of animal. That's a lot of different styles. So it is going to be interesting, but I don't think the snakes are going to be able to really compete with the crocs. That's not their arena. No more than monkeys can compete with elephants, but monkeys or baboons do compete with other animals like leopards and warthogs and stuff.
That's a bit of a hike. Always watch where you put in your hands. Check this out. This,
Here it is. I was looking for this button.
they live all over the place here. Look how camouflaged they are. Same color rock, little shadows.
Testing 1, 2. Okay.
Full-grown specimen. Just gonna lift you up here. Not gonna bother you, buddy. Here we are. Rule number 1: always use your stick. Look at that. Pink belly. What a pretty snake, man. That's my first one.
The mottled rock rat.
All right, I think the black mamba is done and ready. Now we're gonna go to our greeny.
Only 2 feet in length when fully
Green
grown.
mamba.
Its grayish-pink scales blend seamlessly into the cliffs and boulders it calls home. There are more surprises to come.
Survival Studios, that may be the case, but I saw a very disturbing video about one like how they sometimes will work with lions to like make sure the lions are well fed so that they're less likely to prey on them. And it's like the video was making it seem like they are intentionally and deliberately doing it. And it was like really unsettling to think about a creature. You would think like, hey, I'm a Herbie, he's a Herbie, we're kind of on the same side. And it's like, this animal's so smart, he's like selling you out to like a carnivore. So it is really, it's weird. Like, they don't have competition on the same level, but there's always competition. If there's another animal that eats the same plant as you or the same food as you, that's your competition. You know, the only question is what's available. You know, how scarce is the food source? And in this game, that's we're gonna amplify that. There's gonna be competition over, well, there already is for herbivores, competition over food, plant sources, and in the upcoming patch, now there's going to be competition over carcasses too, so meat. So the carnivore players will have competition just like the herbivore players right now have competition. Right now the competition's very soft, so it's like you just basically have to get to the plant faster than them before they eat it, and you don't get enough food. Coming up, it's going to be like they're going to get there first and they're going to claim that plant and that little area, and if you come too close, then they're basically going to get territorial with you over food, and that's going to transfer to the carnivores as well. So I think that'll be interesting gameplay. Alright, now we're going to make one for the green mamba. I always thought black mamba kind of looked green a little bit, but the green mamba is really green.
And some older students have come to visit their friends in Group 2. Valentino, Utris, and Madara.
Speaking of baboons, a snake that I really want, but don't have it yet, is the Gaboon Viper. I want that one too.
And there's a surprise waiting for
They're
them.
notable for their really long fangs, like a baboon fang.
There's something
Let's
not
see
right.
here. Where did my snake go?
Penty reassures the youngsters.
There we go.
But Chinta has a suspicion as to what this might be. Bravely, she takes the lead. Four-year-old Otan arrives late to the Fear Fest. And he thinks this sack looks good. Just in time, Technisi Muliono comes to the rescue and beats his special rubber teaching aid to death. The Group 2 kids have never had snake awareness class before, and today they responded perfectly. In primates, recognition of snakes is instinctive, but fear of snakes is learned. Which is why Muliono tours this lesson around the forest school groups. a lesson they won't forget. Borneo is home to around 160 species of snake, many of them venomous, including this keeled pit viper that strayed into the compound from the surrounding forest. The staff quickly captured the intruder, and Leono has decided it's time for Group 4's lesson in snake awareness. Mulyono doesn't usually attend forest school classes, so as soon as they spot him, the students can tell this is no ordinary lesson. Jumbo and Yoko try to scare him off. Litty, Lanting and Chinta are the bravest. And then little Eric joins Chinta for a closer look. This snake is rubber, but it looks real enough to the orangutans. This response is just what Mulyono hoped for. Terrorizing these youngsters may look mean, but one day this lesson could save their lives.
The gliding tree frog lives almost exclusively in the treetops of dense tropical jungles. Hundreds of feet above the forest floor, the tree frog spends its days ambling through the canopy along vines and branches. It uses its large sticky hands and feet to grip onto any available foliage. At this height, any misplaced step could be fatal, so slow and steady is the game. But falling to their death is not the tree frog's only concern. The canopy is also home to a deadly predator, the tree boa. It is thin, lightweight, and lightning fast. The sure-footed tree frog is an easy target.
Okay.
The snake
We are ready to
branches, closing in on the
go
frogs.
and set up the animation controls now.
With nowhere to hide, the frogs take a leap
What's happening?
of faith.
Are you deaf? Are you not able to hear the stream? Oh. Death?
As they plummet toward the forest floor, they extend their hands and feet to unravel their large, extensive
I don't know,
web.
you tell me. Alright, let's get into our blueprints here.
They are not so much flying.
Alright,
as
actually we're gonna
with
check in with
style.
our lion carcass feeding thing real quick. Oh, who was it that wanted to see the other two animals? Alright, so that's two, right? The black mamba and green mamba. Adding those today. And upcoming,
Layer of skin
here are your other two animals.
toes acts like a parachute. Lateral skin flaps along their arms and legs also catch the air as they free fall.
Working on those.
This increased surface area provides enough air resistance to slow an otherwise fatal descent into a controlled glide. Like a skydiver, the frog makes small, subtle
So that's a springbok.
its way to safety.
Notice the horns and the eyes aren't in there yet. We'll get that. And that actually is an alligator.
Skeletons are modified.
That's not the Nile crocodile model. I'm gonna have at least this one type of alligator, but I'm gonna have several types of crocs. So there's going to be the Nile croc, there's going to be the slender snouted croc, there's going to be the I forget the other name. There's like several crocs that I want, and we're gonna have one alligator at least.
Frog disappears back into the jungle.
Now we're going to observe.
Snake isn't venomous, but it's a powerful constrictor and can inflict painful bite wounds that can be
Our
fatal.
lions and see if they are doing the behavior that we want. It's the right mode.
Grit's learned a lot, but this is his ultimate test.
Put this over in the corner.
The snake targets the head, the badger's weak spot. But where another animal might run off to find easier prey, this is a honey badger. Nothing scares him. He keeps on coming. The snake tries to run. But once the honey badger has locked onto its target, it doesn't back down.
Oh, he's about to eat it all. Oh, he left a little bit for her. So other than some targeting issues, the
Snake's jaws.
predators, not just the lions, will be seeking out carcasses and whatnot. Okay.
As the summer
Question from Crisis Gaming. TJ, is there a Pride Rock-like structure in the game, like in Lion King? Yeah, we have something, like it's not, like I don't have like a rip-off of Pride Rock, but it's something similar. Let me show, hang on. If you notice in the beginning of the intro video, there it is. That's the Pride Rock thing. Let me see if I can isolate that. This would be the Great Circle's version of Pride Rock, I guess. It's not really a structure. Well, I guess lions just like being around rocks and stuff, but it's like it's just there. It's mainly there to be a landmark. It's just so big, you can see it from every direction. And I wanted to put it in the middle of the map. That I guess would be like the center of the entire Great Circle map, which is a huge 9-region map. This structure, you can see it from a lot of different regions. So that would be like our Pride Rock, I suppose. I don't have a name for it yet. I'm waiting. And actually later in the video, you can kind of see the leopard going up it. Let me see. It's going to be coming up in a second. This one. This is up closer. This is like when you get up the hill and towards the rock. You can kind of go in there. And it's like it'll shield you from... It serves the purpose of also shielding you from the weather. So it's like you can go under that rock part, the ceiling part. I'm going to put like a cave kind of in there, but for now that's kind of how it looks. And these are map scenes that you don't have. Like if you notice, these are all like different little regions. This is a brush region. That's the wetlands. That's the grasslands. They look better now, by the way. More brush. This is like the wet, it's like Everglades looking region towards the south and stuff. These are what's coming in like a future patch. Like the map that I've been working on, that's huge. It's coming really, really soon. As soon as I figure out, or as soon as I get done fixing the issue that's happening on the map, I'll switch out the current provisional Savannah map, which is also still kind of big, but it's only one type of biome. I'm going to switch that out with this, and it's going to give you the Savannah plus all the other stuff. So you have a big, big region that you can explore. Looks good. Thank you. Oh, what's that? It's called a cope.
Is a hive of activity in the camelthorn tree. Days are longer and mornings warmer.
I'm not sure what that is. Was that like a name, suggested name for that structure?
At daybreak, sociable weavers are already on the move. They leave in the morning to forage and come back to feed their chicks.
Okay, let's get a blend space going.
But this time, there is a nasty surprise.
I'm gonna put the lion stuff away for a moment.
A boomslung has found the nest. A 3 to 5 foot long venomous snake with an Afrikaans name that means tree snake. It systematically goes from nest chamber to nest chamber and eats the chicks and eggs whole.
Oh, that's what rocky hills are called. Oh, okay.
It's
a copy.
nothing.
Either copy or copy.
Watch helplessly.
My idea was the rocks would be kind of
Everything in a
igneous,
large colony has
and I
many
know there's a certain
advantages.
type of way that
When
you
a
would
predator
do
finds the nest, it's a
the
tragedy.
dirt and the geology around them, but it's like since the game takes place inside of a dead volcano, like some of that rock needs to clearly be like igneous rock. Okay, let's see, where is, okay, we'll just ABK copy.
The chicks are gone, but the adults are safe. The sociable weaver's life strategy is to invest their energy into the survival of the adults. They will soon produce another brood to replace the eaten one. Life goes on.
This snake can travel at speeds of up to 18 miles per hour.
That's the one I want.
This is the Perengay's adder, also called the sidewinder.
The sidewinder.
Sidewinding is the equivalent of the horse's gallop in the snake world. It's the fastest way to get around. And speed aside, it's also the best way for a snake to cross loose, shifting sand. In sidewinding, only two parts of the snake are on the ground simultaneously. With the head and tail firmly anchoring the snake, it throws its body forward in a loop. When that lands, the head is thrust forward. As soon as that lands, the tail is brought up, and so on. This movement creates grip, much like a foot pushing down, allowing the snake to move forward without sliding, even on shifting sand. Sidewinding is also a necessary heat coping behavior in the scorched desert. It reduces the body's contact with the hot sand. But the sidewinder doesn't use this speed to chase down prey. The lizards are way too quick for that. Instead, They find an area with good lizard activity, often near grass tussocks, where the lizards seek shade. Starting at the tail and working its way towards the head, the sidewinder wiggles its body into the sand. With only its eyes above the sand and the desert wind blowing all traces of its burial site away, the adder waits, its potent venom ready to do the hard work. A shovel-snouted lizard is also on the hunt. He stops to pick up a bug. Big mistake. In this scorched desert, the lizard is not just a meal, but an important source of water, too. He retreats into the cool sand to digest.
It's a busy time of year for Simon Keyes, the resident bounty hunter of the snake world.
I saw this sort of big, sort of greyish snake. It's inside the kitchen. As soon as I saw it, I just...
Whoa, you've got a big black mamba in there. The snakes I'm most wary of is the black mamba. But I get excited.
That's one place I'd be a little bit afraid to live, is in Australia.
When you finish with it,
I know lots of people live there, but it's like the amount of things in that country and not on that continent that can kill you is astounding.
Come summer,
There's so many deadly things out there.
it's such a fast thing, and the teeth are very small, you know, they're only about that sort of long, probably 5 mil, 6, 7 mil, maybe max. And they don't actually need to open their mouth very wide at all. It's almost they just quickly bang on the skin. It doesn't take much. You lucky boy. Bet it's the quickest cup of coffee you've ever had.
Mind getting rid of it.
No, well, don't worry. Okay, what I'm going to do...
Simon has backup. Neville Volmerins is a local snake expert who helps Simon keep the human-mamba conflict to a minimum. Neville has survived 2 mamba bites, but he's one of the lucky few.
When I was 16, I was bitten by a mamba I was trying to catch. That was the first time. At first the bite throbs, and after
Hello, welcome to the stream.
feeling sort of moving up your arm.
A Pluie Zed.
Unconscious,
Welcome to the stream.
and only came out of it about 70 hours later.
If you're a ballerina, you're going to fall, you're going to twist your ankle. If you're a racing driver, you're going to crash. A snake catcher, unfortunately you get there.
Catching deadly mambas may seem like an exciting hobby, but their lives hang in the balance with every call.
If I was a snake catcher, the last type of snake I would want to have to go and try to catch would be a black mamba.
And people kill
They're just so